On this edition, Bora-Hansgrohe have come a long way.
Continental through Pro Conti, and then to hire guys like Rafael Majka and Peter Sagan.
There's the science behind the breakaway.
The strange thing is when you win in a breakaway, it could actually be one of the easiest races to win.
But first, we're off to the Ronde van Drenthe.
I'm Lucy Garner and this is my second year in Wiggle High Five. And this is my sister Grace Garner.
I'm Grace Garner and this is my first season riding for Wiggle High Five. And this is my sister Lucy Garner.
Our grandparents were both racing cyclists, and yeah, obviously Grace races and I race, and you know, we've kind of been brought up around bikes. That's kind of all we know.
We're both like sprinter type riders, but I think we're different people, we're different riders, and yeah, I think I might look like I'm following in their footsteps, but I think, yeah, we're both individuals and it's just nice that we have the support of each other.
Before I moved to Holland, we were really competitive actually, like to the point where it was like everything that we did, it was like trying to beat each other. But since I've moved away, like we are like best friends now, aren't we?
When I'm suffering, I think you like to keep pushing on.
It makes you better.
Okay. She's not soft on me.
I've been living in Holland for like 4 years now, so it is very, very flat in Holland, and Grace was quite surprised. We were actually discussing the course for Ronde van Drenthe, and basically on the race map, it's just completely flat, and Grace was like, surely it's not that flat. And then we did the reckon and she was like, yeah, it's really flat. We're going to be sort of helping Jolien, saving, you know, as much energy for her in the sprint.
It's a women's world tour, so really aggressive racing. Just the level of racing is just that little bit extra, because obviously there's a lot more to play for in the women's world tour. All the teams put in their best riders, so you can definitely feel the sort of extra pressure.
We don't really know how the race is going to go until we're actually in the race itself, because obviously the wind's going to play a massive part. If there's no wind, then, you know, it could be a massive bunch going into the finish. But if there is wind, then the race is going to be split to pieces.
There's about 7 cobble sections. 3 of them are pretty long, actually. So they're going to be sort of the key points of the race. The main thing is like communication and being around each other, trying to be at the front and making sure we don't miss any vital moments of the race. Jolien and Elisa, they really shout up and say like move over or make sure you're riding here, or they're just always giving tips. We have 3 times at the Vanberg, so that'll be tough, but it'll be good.
I think the climb itself isn't going to be the hardest part, it's just going to be getting into the climb, because the roads are so narrow that it's just going to be sort of fighting for that position and then holding it up the climb. I've seen Grace's pain face quite a lot recently, so...
I just have a really bad suffering face. But yeah, it's nice. Especially like when, it is a hard point in the race, or you're cold or you need food or water, then I know that I can ask Lucy. And then also, when there's been a crash, like I always see Lucy looking. You always look for your teammates anyway, but I think as well, having your sister there, you know, you've got that extra support.
It pushes me on knowing that you're, also there. We've got Jolien, and she won here 2 years ago. It doesn't really matter for her if it comes in a big group, a small group, you know, she can sprint whatever. Elisa's obviously in the leader's jersey, so that's, you know, really big and exciting for the team. So I think she's going to want to try and obviously defend that jersey. And I think at the moment she's one of the best riders in the peloton. She's really strong at the moment. So I think, you know, especially if it's going to be windy, she's going to be, you know, the one in the first group and really pushing the attacks and, you know, trying to get to the finish in a smaller group or alone. It's really nice to be in a team with those riders. You have to sort of make those steps and sacrifice your own chances to help others, but then you know in the future that they'll do the same for you.
It's just amazing to sort of absorb all their experience and build towards being a better rider in the future.
The team was working very well. I was the one who missed the the last beat, so I take everything on my shoulder today. The Garner sisters were really good. Their task was to help the team in the first part of the race, especially going into the cobbles and covering all the attacks at the beginning of the race, and they did an amazing job.
We've gelled really well actually as a team. It's just sort of nice to share the victories. Yeah, obviously together we have bad days, you have good days, and I think it's really nice to go through it with everyone. We're just really proud of each other, and just obviously it's nice that someone's always got your back.
With a step up to cycling's top level and double world champion Peter Sagan now among their ranks, few teams arguably made a bigger splash this off-season than Bora-Hansgrohe. As well as the Slovakian superstar, the team has also added a raft of familiar faces, mixed with emerging talent to help elevate the project that started 7 years ago at continental level.
Hi, my name is Leopold König.
I'm Markus Burkhardt.
Rafał Majka.
My name is Pascal Ackermann.
I'm 13 years professional cycling.
8 years.
6 years. It's my first year in the World Tour and I'm a sprinter.
I'm a GC contender.
I am a domestic.
I be contender in the GC riders of the Tour de France and Vuelta a España.
As one of 8 former Tinkoff riders in the team, Polish champion Rafał Majka's adjusting to his new environment. With familiar faces all around, Mike has been able to focus on preparing for one of the biggest seasons of his career.
We have almost half the staff of also in Bora-Hansgrohe when he's coming to the Tinkoff, and for us it's like still his family, and now we have new family, but for us it's more easy, and for sure should be fun in the next year.
After top 10 finishes at the Giro d'Italia and the Vuelta a España, Majka looks likely to be trusted with the job of riding for GC at this year's Tour de France. For sports director Christian Purmer, the leadership qualities required for such a task are clear to see.
First of all, it's obvious that he has a really, really big engine. You see when he's pulling at the front, even at the training rides, that the pace rises. And concerning his personality, he's the choker of the team. Always cracking chokes, and it's a big honor for us to have him on board.
When I do Giro, I finish top 5, Vuelta top 3, and now is the moment go in the Tour and try something. It's first year. I have very good opportunity with Bora-Hansgrohe.
With Majka set for the Tour, the team has also welcomed back a rider instrumental in its rise through the ranks.
For me, one of the most interesting riders here is for sure Leo König, who will be our GC guy for the Giro d'Italia. Our big goal is to build up Leo for the Giro, and also help Leo to create the team he needs for the Giro, the support riders, the domestics.
Leopold König saw his career take off with the team in its early years. Such has been the scale of Bora-Hansgrohe's evolution in the years since then. For the Czech, it's a dream reunion.
What I really like is that the management is still the same, and the people around the team are still the same. To start from pro-continental team, or even from continental through pro-conti, and then to hire guys like Rafał Majka and Peter Sagan, and to have a specialized as a sponsor, to have a Hansgrohe, a really big company, and to have a Bora, it's just, I think, for them, even this is success.
Despite a mixed 2 years with Team Sky, König insists his time there has only provided more motivation for his next challenge.
I feel like new rider again, and every year I somehow progressed, and I could learn from the best in the world, from the best coaches, from the best management, from the best rider. All I want to do is to make this team bigger, to make this team more successful, use all of these resources, use all of these experience to help the team and to help myself.
Another rider bringing a huge bank of experience is Markus Burkhardt. Joining from BMC, the strong German has a new team to get used to for the first time in 7 years.
It's not that it's changing your whole life. because you're still a cyclist and okay, you are riding for a different team. For sure it's something new, but for me it was also on the time to do something new and different. I think my main job gonna be like in BMC, that I will help Peter in the classics. I think it's quite important that he has guys also in the final. And for the Grand Tours, it's I'm gonna be a guy for the flat and to keep the guys in a good position.
And Burkhardt has another role to play, that of mentor to Bora's newest stars. One of those is talented sprinter Pascal Ackermann, who caught the eye of many with a second place at the Under-23 World Championships in Doha.
I was dreaming every time about the German team, and now my dream get true to ride in Bora-Hansgrohe. Last year I was always looking up to the team, and now I'm a part of this team. It's a dream for me. Peter is a very nice guy. It's always funny with him to ride with him, and I'm happy to ride with him and not against him. And maybe I can learn some parts of him where I can ride between the other guys in the peloton and learn how I can start my sprint right, not too early, not too far, too late. And yes, I hope I can learn from him.
For all that has changed in cycling's history, it feels like there's been one constant: the breakaway. Failing far more than it succeeds, to some it's a suicide mission. For others, though, it's an opportunity. While the breakaway and catch appear a choreographed routine practiced by the peloton and a select few chancers, what's really going on? To find out, InCycle consulted some of those who know best this side of racing to break down the art of the breakaway.
When you see action from the beginner, riders attacking, they angry, they want to go in the breakaway. Then breakaway happens, then they fighting for second bonus, for bonus for seconds, for KOM. That's already excitement, that's already that people want to see.
When a breakaway gets to the finish, you have to beat them. And the strange thing is when you win in a breakaway, it could actually be one of the easiest races to win because you're not racing the peloton, you're just racing the people in the breakaway.
There's riders out there, they're just having fun to bring the breakaway back.
I think for me the best feeling is at the start of the race there's heaps of jumping, you know, and your little breaks, you get like 10 seconds away, then you get caught, and then you go another move, and this happens quite a lot. But when you get in a group and it goes, and then you hear in the radio from your teammate, go Adam, go, 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 the bunch has stopped, then you know, okay, the break's going to go.
With breakaways forming long before television audiences usually join the action, just how the escapees got away can be a mystery to even the most ardent cycling fan. From the moment the flag drops at kilometre 0, those motivated to make the day's break often launch their attack. And for the wise heads of the peloton, it isn't usually hard to guess who might be making a dash for it.
I always make jokes, it's like, whose birthday is it? Who's living in the town we pass? And so you do a little bit of research on the internet. So these guys are definitely up for it, they know the region. And then you have a look, okay, who can we let go? It's like, is it a tough stage, a long stage? If it's a long stage, we can let go 6 riders, no problem. If it's a short stage or shorter one, 3 to 4 is perfect. So for us, it literally starts at kilometre 0.
With the likes of InCycle intensely monitoring and shutting down any threats to GC leadership or sprint ambitions, the formation of the breakaway isn't always immediate.
If riders fighting and no one is getting away, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, at one point we need to tell one rider, just listen, take it a little bit easy and stay there in the front, because right now everybody's getting tired of those attacks. It will go, and 5-10 minutes later, boom, the breakaway is gone, and then we're okay. Our first part, mission accomplished, so now let's focus on the second part of the race.
Some of the unwritten rules of the breakaway is everyone should do the same amount of work. That's something that obviously everyone wants, and we don't like it when the riders are they pretend they're not so good and things like this. You show you're motivated, you show you want to go to the finish, and then everyone feels a little guilty conscious if they don't do the same. So they all put in the same amount of work. And I think this is important for the breakaway to get to the finish.
Even with cooperation integral to ultimate breakaway success, decisions on how to beat their fellow escapees need to be made early. And for that, riders have their director sportifs nearby to help devise a plan.
We can communicate directly with the athlete and provide him all information that he needed. And of course, the first goal is to motivate him and to provide him right advice, because if he's in a breakaway with super strong guys, and in the case if we get to the finish and he's not going to be doing so well, so we try to help him to save his legs a little bit.
To the untrained eye, catching a breakaway looks simple. For those hoping to set up a sprint, though, there are hidden dangers. Catch too early and a fresher rider can spoil the day. Leave it too late and a sprint train is disrupted. So when making the calculation, do we stick with tradition, or can science give the captains a hand?
My name is Hendrik van Maldegem and I'm a professor in mathematics at University of Ghent. And I was once asked to develop a formula to know at which distance a peloton should start to hunt a breakaway in order to catch up with them. So I put together two formulas. One formula is very simple, the other one contains a square root, so it looks rather impressive. The information that you need to have is first, the number of riders in the breakaway, right? Because it depends on that. Then you also need to know the speed of the breakaway. That's essential. The other thing you need to know is the distance between them, between the peloton and the riders, obviously. Otherwise, And then what you also need to know is the speed of the peloton once they are chasing. But that should be something that you know from other stages, that once a peloton starts chasing, how fast can they ride? I received a lot of data of rides against the time, and there it seemed that when there are more than 10 riders, the speed remained constant. There was no reducing of the speed, but when there are less than 10 riders, then they get tired, and then there is a certain, let's say, they lose some speed. And that's the main reason why there are two formulas. So X is equal to APV divided by P minus V in the first formula. And in the second formula, X is equal to A times P times 6P divided by 3 times P minus V plus the square root of 6PAC plus 9 times P minus V squared, and this minus 1.
Wow, that's a...
Somebody has a lot of time.
To be honest with you, I don't know what to say.
Well, for us, it's 10 minutes per kilometre.
I think Kev would definitely buy into this if you explain it to him the right way, and he can prove it's right. And I guess it's right.
So how does it feel to be one of those swallowed up by the peloton when that 100+ kilometre effort comes to nothing?
I'd much rather be in the breakaway, get caught, than have an easy day in the peloton. So I'll take it any day. And there's always that chance it goes to the line. So You should never feel bad about it.
There are days in cycling where absolutely no formula will help catch the break. Days where the motivation to hold off the peloton is great enough. Days where the elements shine bright on the escapees, but not the chasers.
This is a team game, but one man has done it on his own, and here he comes, and it's almost like a grandstand finish. He can afford to just let this one sink in. My goodness, what have I done? I tell you, Adam, you have won a stage of this year's Giro d'Italia into Pescara.
The funny thing about this breakaway in particular is I decided the day before I was going to go on the breakaway. I shaved my head, I cut all my hair off. Yeah, I was super motivated for it. I knew the breakaway would stick to the finish, and I knew if I wanted to have a chance of winning, it had to be this day. We did this part here where it's just Stella and I. I was just trying to play mind games with him because I knew he was like 20 kilos lighter than me. And then I knew I couldn't beat him physically on the climbs. And then he crashes on the descent. And then, yeah, I waited for him for two reasons. I needed him to help me to get to the finish because it was too far. And it was also a good chance for me to have a little bit of rest. And so I had rest, killing him a little to catch me. And then he came back more tired. So we could work together more and get me further towards the finish.
That moment there where you're finishing, there's no one else in the photograph, how does that feel?
You know, I never believed I won the stage. Never believed I won the stage. It wasn't until, I think, like even with 800 meters to go, I was thinking I must get a flat tire or something must go wrong or I'm not hearing it right on the radio. They have to catch me because you try so many times to win from the breakaway and so many times you fail. And when this happened in the Giro for the first time, it was like, wow, today's my chance and today's the day it's going to go to the finish. And yeah, this is it. It's finally happening.
That's all for this week. Join us next time on InCycle, but until then, keep up to date with us across social media.